So, good morning and Jai Shri Krishna. Today we have Dr. Mita Dixit on our KCBF webinar platform. So, welcome Dr. Mita to our KCBF webinar. Hope
Thank
you
you.
are
Thank
enjoying
you.
your festive season.
I'm enjoying a long holiday season where working from home is less of work and more of relaxation. So I guess it's tiring to now rest also at home. Yes.
Right. That is very true. In fact, everyone has a huge amount of relaxation period wherein they converted this particular into the opportunities and time the family as well.
Yeah. True. But I'll tell you, Hardik, this is
So,
a good point.
without taking
Yeah.
much
What
time,
you?
I'll just
Yeah. Okay. All right, I will share my views once we start our conversation
yeah,
because there's been a lot of learning during these 5 months and
definitely.
experiences which I would share. Yes.
Very good. That is what we all are looking at. So I'll start with
Okay.
the session. Jai Shri Krishna to
Sure.
all. Being a member of KCBF is like having a whole team of salespeople working for you. KCBF is a platform of, for, and by Kadaikas who are spread across the globe. KCBF is a business and professional networking organization that allows only Kadaikas to join the organization. The sole purpose is to give its member more business. It's based on the mission connect, communicate, and conduct. It is to support each other to develop, initiate, provide services from our own community members. KCBF is only a legally constituted organization working for Kadaikas on the business front, currently having 2,000 plus members through digital platform and live members are 250, making the business of rupees 1.5 crore in the last 3 years. Members of KCBF have entrusted the organization in such a way that it's being launched across the globe in the form of chapters generating more business amongst Khadaikas. Today, I would like to welcome Dr. Mita Dixit. Before putting Madam to the screen, I would like to give the small introduction about her. Yes, once. Dr. Mita Dixit is, yeah. In the current pandemic times, most businesses are facing difficulties of continuity of the business. In India, almost 95% businesses are family businesses from local neighborhood business managed by father, son, and other family members. Two large businesses like Ambani's, Reliance, and Biani's Big Bazaar. We have prominent personality with us today who is an expert and established consultant for family business, Dr. Mita Dixit. Mita is guiding and helping family-owned business since last 15 years. She is co-founder of Equations, a family business advisory company in Mumbai. Mita plays several roles of an advisor, board member, educator, researcher, and mentor. She helps business owning families to develop their long-term planning, improve communication and transparency by developing policies, processes, and logical decision-making process. She also guides owner families to develop professional work culture and organizations to improve performance and revenue. She is a mentor to women and next-gen members of family businesses. She is a certified family business advisor and also an independent director on listed companies board. This gives her an edge to understand and advise on family management, ownership, and governance challenges. Mita has co-authored The 5G of Family Business, a practical, insightful book on success framework of family businesses. She does research and writes family business case studies. Her articles are published in journals and magazines. She is a speaker at family business conferences and seminars. Frequently, her views and comments appear in leading newspaper and TV on family business issues. I am happy and thrilled to invite a multi-talented personality, Dr. Mita Dixit, to share her views on the impact of pandemic on family businesses and how the new normal is going to take shape for them. So, thank you and welcome, Dr. Dixit. Screen is yours.
Thank,
Please,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you, Hardik. Thank you very much, and thank you, the forum, for making this possible to communicate with your members and others also, those who are watching this event live. And it's a pleasure to be with all of you. I'm quite keen to share my experiences and insights, which I would say I've learnings which I've got it during this 5 months, and this is something unique. This time is absolutely unique, and it's absolutely unfathomable for all of us across the world. Suddenly such a pandemic happening, and we are not aware how to fight the situation, or say learning how to cope up with it is something which is happening with all of us. So I would usually, it so happens that in family businesses, where the families are owning and managing the business, there are challenges which are either with the family that would suddenly come up. Maybe some senior person suddenly collapses and is no more, or there are some disputes that happen, or some family challenges could happen on one side, and the business may have impact. And many times the business gets impact because of the environment, or competition, or big loss, or some challenges in the factory, or business activities, or with the customers. And then the family also gets stressed and finds it challenging to cope up with. This is the time where we are seeing that both families and business together are in such complex situations, such uncertain situations, that we are all wondering that how are we going to get out of this COVID-19 pandemic. And let me tell you, and I mean, of course, all of you, we know that this pandemic is, we are slowly getting used to it. And in some time, we hope that we'll come out of it, and new era, new normal era will begin. But still, there are few things which we have to be sure of or keep in mind, that whenever this new normal happens, and whenever we are there in our working life back, our habits are going to change. In fact, I would say they are already changed to a large extent. Our habits have changed, our social interaction norms have changed, our behavioral aspects and our human angles have changed. If we ask ourselves, then we have seen that how all of us have been able to manage with minimum things in the household, or say minimum things which we require to manage or maintain our lifestyles during this 5 months where we are all locked up. We also are going to are seeing that sanitization has become a big habit now for all of us, which is becoming now part of us. Our TV watching habits or our entertainment habits have changed. And in fact, our food ordering habits have also changed. And I was just recently, today itself, I was hearing some expert talking about it. And in just last 4 months, there are 200 crore plus orders have been delivered to various households, and that's a huge number which was never expected. In short, the business models are also changing. Now, how the business models are changing and what is going to be our outlook, and especially for the families who are in business, managing the business, owning the business, leading the business, how things are going to change at their end is what I'm going to share my thoughts on this. The first and foremost, given the uncertainties around us, how is going to be the new normal for family businesses? That is a question which keeps on coming every now and then. And I would say that this is a black swan event. So we had never thought of, and it suddenly has changed things around us. Uh, where it has come, how it has come, when will it go? These are all question marks. The coronavirus caused diseases are going to stay here, irrespective of when we talk about remedial measures or so. But we don't know how and what shapes it will keep on taking. So any form of therapy or prevention that will happen, it's going to take at least some more months or maybe a couple of years to become widely available or easily available. And this has now significantly altered our lives in physical manner, in social manner, in economical manner, in political. The protocols which are emerging in this new normal are much different than what we have seen in past. Some are going to be very radical protocols, and some of them are going to change and going to disappear. Uh, for example, we had, in spite of companies, organizations being very process oriented, digital savvy, this one clause of working from home was hardly given any importance because it was only IT industries, and that also few IT companies were using this work from home clause. Now this is going to be very natural for us. I mean, it's everywhere we are working from home, and it's going to be mandatory and inescapable change in our working habits. The reactions and responses to COVID and problems caused, or say problems which have come because of that in our business, our customers, our supply chain, our distributors, our whole system or the business model is changing and become quite unpredictable. And this is where I call we are completely now in the VUCA world. It is volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex and ambiguous world. All of us are now experiencing. We teach in management institutes, and students of management and youngsters, they are quite familiar with the term VUCA, but here we are living in a VUCA world. And now, how this impact is going to affect us, how it is going to impact our families and the business families. I'll specifically talk about the business families. Two things have happened. We have, as a family, we have spent, or we are still spending a lot of time with each other, and a lot of communication and discussions are happening in the family, which were not happening much. I would say not all the families would have very strict or structured way of interaction and communication. Some families, yes, I would give examples of my own clients, or some families were large families where there are 8, 10, or 12 members in the family. They have the habit of having their dinners together, or having weekly meetings or get togethers together and exchanging notes. Some families keep that practice. But those who were not having such practices, I think this is have started happening. Quite important that families are communicating more. Families are understanding, or have understood, that when in difficulties we need to stay together and think together and find out the solutions together. So this is one side of the families in business which I'm getting. The interesting thing which is happening, or I rather I would say, I've been interacting with some youngsters, and they talked to me, and they said, Mita ma'am, one of the younger generation person told me, the pre-successor, that my father never had trust in me, and he never left his factory operations in my hands. It was always he taking decisions. It was always he calling the shots, and I was only working as his assistant, or doing some smaller things. But suddenly, in last 3 months, I'm seeing my father has got so much confidence in me, because every day I'm going to the factory. He cannot go to the factory because of his age. And now that I'm managing operations there, and I'm interacting with people, of course, we have limited number of staff or resources I've depleted. But when I'm managing the things, my relationship with my father has completely changed, and it's become so good for better that this corona has done something good to us. I'm sure that many of you would be also experiencing this change, where there are responsibilities in the family have been switched or shifted or recalibrated because of pandemic requirements, the necessities of the day, that we would call. Um, but important thing is that the new normal, what is going to happen in the new normal? A few things are going to happen in the new normal for the families in business. I am very specifically, I'm saying the families which are together, or say who are working together in the business. There are few things which are going to happen, and they need to take cognizance of these changes if they have not taken so far. And I call them as these are three R factors, or three are the factors which are extremely necessary for the families to give a look at or think consciously and work upon. What are these three R's? Number one, it's the resources, resources in the business, and resources of the family. And when I say resources of the family, it is not the money resource or the tangible resource. I'm talking about the human resource, about the um, family members contributing, helping out, doing something in the business which probably they were not doing earlier. And also, if you look at our business, what are the resources now we have, and how are we going to make use, best use of that in our future? That is going to be a very, very serious or say critical issue for the families. Now the question comes, and which I interact with families, and the question comes that our businesses have almost closed down. Now we are not, billing has not happened, or the clients are also not running their factory. So the entire supply chain in the system, we are having tremendous cash crunch, and the challenges of the business, which would have operational challenges. People have left, so we don't have good staff now. So even if we go back to the office, we'll not have enough human resource with us. These are the operational challenges, yes, we are all going to face. But it will be a good exercise to do, is to evaluate and see that as a family, do we have enough of funding that we can continue for next several months? Have we ever thought about it? Have we ever build our corpus for such contingencies? That is one. Another is that when our resources are not there or not enough, what do we do with our existing resources? I've got two examples with me of the companies who have added, or say rather, because their regular business has stopped, because of the supply chain things have completely stopped. Uh, these companies have, both of them have entered into manufacturing sanitizing products and machines, with given their factory premise being available and the products or the raw materials being available. They quickly, very quickly, they moved into manufacturing sanitizers and related products, and have started selling that to their own clients who are buying otherwise their other industrial products. So the same customer base, but totally a different product line, but that product line is the need of the hour. So this is where the flexibility and the adaptability of the family, the think tank, I would say the top management's thinking comes, and how quickly you can change your way of working, or look at it your customers, or look at it your suppliers, and make changes in the market requirements or market demands and move. So this requires resources, is one thing which is very important for families to sit together and take a log off. Second R, which I would say is critical, and that is your risk appetite. Evaluate your risk appetite. I was talking to one younger generation a member recently, and they are into retail business, and they said we realized that we need to quickly expand our retail network. We need to quickly expand our reach to customers. Why? Because with digitization, which is imperative for us to now get into, once we do digitization, we will not be able to just manage with our three stores. We will have to go for 30 stores, probably in one city, or we may have to go for a large number of stores. Now, this is the risk which we have to take, and we are discussing with all our senior family members. When I say family, that means not only mommy, daddy, and children, but I'm talking about extended family also. That is your cousins and uncles and whoever your very close friends who are associates with you. There also the changes are, or say there also you take help or support of everybody and decide that yes, we want to go and expand the business at this time, or we may remain conservative, or what we are doing, we just focus on that and we get back to our normal. What is our risk? One thing which we'll see that India, and which we have, I've mentioned a lot in our 5Gs also, family business, that younger generation is very tech savvy compared to the senior generation. And that is not anything new that I'm saying. But being tech savvy, how does it help? So being tech savvy helps in two ways. One is your existing business, see which are the pockets and the areas that you can quickly work on your processes, your systems, and become tech savvy, or say use digital platforms to make your operations much faster and stronger. And another is, can you think of a new venture, a new startup, which will not be main core business immediately, but it can slowly grow and it can help the business expand or diversify. Diversification is going to be the key for tomorrow's businesses, or the businesses who want to sustain and survive for long. So risk appetite is something that families must discuss amongst themselves and decide that in new normal, what is going to be a risk appetite. And third part, which I would say, is relationship. Now, in family and business, I mean, classically, we all we all academicians talk about it, and consultants, we love to discuss this, is three aspects and the three circles, which are all the time continuously coming together and mixing up and overlapping each other. And these three circles are the circle of family, which has got emotions, which has got families' values, which has got families' ways of working and beliefs and the culture. And then the part is of management or the business. Business is another system which has got its own challenges, which has got its own forces, and these forces are also impacting the family forces. And the third part, or the third circle, is of the ownership. You are the owner of the business, and when you are the owner of the business, your perspective towards the business is much different than a non-owner of the business. Business owners would look at the profitability part, the return on investment part very carefully and very consciously, whereas the management part would look at more from revenues, profits, but also the brand image, customer satisfaction. And what does family look at? For family, the biggest strength of the family is the relationships which are nurtured, relationships which are positive, and there is a cohesive bonding. It may or may not be there in the family, but I see, and with my experience of working with a large number of families in the business, I see that the relationship factor is a very, very crucial aspect for making a family business last for a long time. When I say long, that means decades and decades and probably centuries, or that is the topmost factor for the demise of the family business. Let me share one interesting fact. As a researcher, also, that this point always, I mean, we talk about, and it's there also published media, that the businesses, when any new business which starts, or say there are 100 new businesses which start at a point, then there are only 56 businesses will be lasting till the end of the first generation. That means the entrepreneur's lifetime. 56 businesses will last and will die with the entrepreneurs during the entrepreneur's lifetime. It means the remaining businesses are going to survive and going to the next generation. And from that second generation to third generation, out of 100 businesses, there are only four businesses which survive till the fourth generation. And one generation, if we look at, then it's about 20 years, then about 80 years. Four generations is 80 years plus. There are hardly four businesses out of 100 which last for more than 80 years. That is a lifetime, or say lifespan of an individual, I would think. So family businesses have got a very, very well, a lifespan is very complex, and quite threatened lifespan that families in business have, or say family businesses have. At the same time, 95% of the businesses in India, all take almost all in the free economies of the world, almost 80-85% businesses are owned by families, and their extended families, owned and managed by them. So the number of family businesses is very high. The demise rate of family businesses is also very high. And then there are families in business, or the family businesses, I would say business families, could sustain and survive for 150 years, 200 years, and even they go up to 300 or 500 years also. Very few businesses, but still they have been surviving for such a long lifespan. The point is that in the new normal, families will have to look at these three critical issues, which I mentioned, or say first is the resources, what the resources, which resources we have, and how will we be able to use them now in the new normal in a more productive manner. Second is that what is our risk appetite? Are we ready to experiment something new or get into some new area, or the existing business also? Are there ways, or can we risk appetite in changing our processes to complete digitization? That itself is a risk that the promoters will have to look at. And the third is relationships. Do we have a platform where all the family members can discuss and openly share their views, even if they are different views? Do we have that platform or not? Now the question comes, and very quickly before Hardik starts asking me questions, um, a, a few things which I would like to share. Number one, I have now come across and I see that there are three um, focus areas for a family, for any family business. And I call that as a will. WIL, will. These are the focus areas. The first focus area for a family in the business could be wealth generation. It could be personal wealth generation. It's a wealth generation for a personal and family's requirement to improve lifestyle, to enhance lifestyle, and use the business or run the business so that the personal wealth um, augments and reaches much larger level. So that is the wealth aspect, or say wealth focus of the families in the business. That means you treat the business, you run the business, you manage the business with an idea that it must create wealth for us, it must create prosperity, money, and hardcore assets for us. So that is one focus area. Another focus area is for the families, and some families have got this as a prime focus area, and that is being innovative, being very entrepreneurial in that nature. Now, there are so many families, and today also, if we look at it, known names of families, then let's look at Reliance Group, which is the largest, and I mean, everybody knows about a business. So, from us petrochemicals or textiles, from there, the group has grown into so many businesses, and even I also didn't know, but some time ago I'm sure that that was in media also, that the largest exporters of mangoes in the world, which we did not know about it. And now the Reliance is moving into a huge digital platform. So it's a IT company. It's changing its direction, or say I would say moving and along with the times as they've changed, they're also changing that direction slowly and steadily, and with a lot of work behind it. So there are families who have innovation, who have new ideas, which keep on coming. I was talking to managing director, or say deputy managing director of Pan Parag, Pan Parag product, and Kotharis. And I had no idea, and very few people know that they are into hospitality, they are into many other businesses, which are they into food, and they are into, besides a tobacco business, they are into real estate. So many diversifications are happening. It is a natural, I would say it's a natural process of growth where you diversify and move into other businesses. But for families, there are families who have got this innovativeness or entrepreneurship in their DNA. And being that in the DNA, wealth automatically develops. At times, the companies are ready to lose money also, but to come out with new ideas. And especially youngsters are doing this, and when they are coming out with new ideas and they're coming out new startups and new technology inventions, this is where the entrepreneurial DNA comes up. I would say the families have this innovation as a focus area for their business would be, and the third focus area is to build legacy businesses. Now, I would say, what legacy businesses? Why do we have to have legacy businesses? If I'm running a small business, which is good enough for me manage my family, handle my family, have a good lifestyle, and have a good reputation in my community, do I really need to think about a legacy business? So let me share my thoughts quickly on what is a legacy business. The business which you leave behind for your next generation to manage, and then the next generation and the next generation. That means the continuity of the business goes on for a long time. The values of the business that you have run and you have maintained, they are continued. They are and the business competencies, the excellence in the business, or the work way the businesses are running, that is all the time been improved and taken to the next level. If those activities or thoughts are continuously happening and the actions are taken regularly, then these businesses, they become legacy business. Today we have to simply, we say Hindustan lever or products of levers. We don't know who was Mr. Lever, or what did he do, or he had two sons and the sons are not running the show. They are not the managing directors of the company. So the Lever family is completely away from the business. Dabur is a product, a household name for all of us. But the Burman family is away from the business, from day to day running of the business. But still, the Dabur name is there with us. It's five generations, and that is the legacy business. So I'm talking about, or say rather, I would say that when the families have got this desire that we want to create not just a money making machine, business as a money making machine, but we want to sustain the business and leave something, something that means leave a brand of the family, leave a name of the family with that, or leave the name of the business, even if we are not there, but for years and years. The business will continue to serve the community and the society. If that is a thought, then your business is has got all the potential, or say you are on the right way to make it a legacy business. So these are three purposes, or the focus areas of the families. As I said, either it's purely making money and creating wealth for yourself and the family. Another could be being very innovative and entrepreneurial. And third could be the legacy. What is your focus? That is the family must need to decide. I'm not saying that that's only one focus. All three are together, but there will be one of this will be out of three. At least there will be one core focus, and based on that, your entire working and the new normal thinking and strategies will evolve. So this is the learning of the new normal, that the families, or the thinking which happened and interactions with the families that happened during this 5 months, which I am sharing in a nutshell with you. That the focus areas of the family very important to do, and three R's, which I said, the resources and risk and relationships the families have to do. And then there are some more points which I want to discuss. But I would now request Hardik to ask me questions, so that I will, along with the questions, I'll uh, respond to that, and also share my views on various other points. Yes, Hardik. Hardik, are you there? Hardik? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
really
Hardik, you
awesome
had,
session which you
yeah,
are making to the members. The first question is like, when we are talking about the legacy business, our viewer have asked one question. As you mentioned, we have all stayed home now for almost 5 months. I think for all the
I'm
families,
not
this
able
is
to.
unique experience. Do you,
Hardik, I'm not able to
are you
hear
able to
you.
hear
Can
me?
you be? Your voice is not clear. Can you please repeat your question?
Is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah. Now you're audible. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Since it's 5 months, since it's 5 months, we are staying at home. So, do you think this is a unique experience for the family, and the family bonding and the closeness have like increase the risk friction among them. So how would you like to query this particular system?
Okay. I think you're asking me because your voice is cracking. But what you're asking me is, in 5 months,
Hello,
whether the families have come closer or there has
Dr.
been
Mita.
the rifts in the families because of staying together. Right. I think well, it's very interesting.
Dr.
The
Mita.
answer depends on. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. The answer depends on to what extent male members have been helpful to women and working in the family. So, to what extent, I would say, I mean, of
Yes,
course,
yes,
it's a
yes,
in a
yes.
lighter tone. I am saying that to what extent you've been able to helpful to your mothers and your wives, depending on that,
Right,
your
right, right.
bonding
Very
and
true.
harmony has increased or not.
Correct.
But yeah, this was in a lighter vein. Really, if I see, then two things, these are like two sides of a coin. And if you look at it, the
Yeah, yeah.
families yeah, where they have stayed together or more have spent more time. A lot of families have been, I mean, you're playing games and you're talking and you're watching TV together and all. There is some closeness or some communication more than what it was in the pre new normal era, or say there was the original normal era was there. So here there is more bonding that is happening um, uh, between amongst family members. And I gave you the example of the youngster,
Very true.
the son of the client family, and there, yes, the cohesion is increasing. But at the same time, let me also mention that there are families which have got strained relationships, and when you are together with people with whom you have strained relationships, maybe this does not help. Okay, staying together does not help. At some time, the families have to decide that why their cohesion is not happening, because cohesion not happening just does not happen only because of your personal personalities or because of your beliefs. There are several areas where because of which the cohesion does not happen. And first thing which I would say is, your what do you look at your business and your family? What is your definition of your family and your business and expectations? They are not aligned. So this is the
Yes.
time where the families need to come together and align. So your happiness and sadness depends on to what extent you are working and helping the housemaker. But in the business, yes, it's a serious question, and we need to look at it and work on it. Yes. Yeah. Am I audible? Somewhere I thought my voice is coming. Yeah. Okay. Hardik, I'm not able to hear you. Hello. Hardik, I'm not able to hear you. So what I will do is,
Shall I go with the second question?
yeah, please
Yeah,
ask.
you are audible.
Yeah, please ask. I'm
Yes,
waiting
yes.
for a question. I thought I'll
One
put
more
your.
question from the viewer is like,
Yes.
when you have mentioned about separating the management from the ownership,
Yeah.
how can families do that
Yeah.
when the family member have different views and beliefs? What should
Yeah.
family do so that their relationships are not strained and at the same time their business is not affected? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Right.
add this?
So yeah. Separating ownership from management is something which is the new mantra for family business advisors,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
all of us talk
So
about
it's
it.
all
Lot
about
of, yeah.
family business, when there are different views of the family members into the same business.
Yeah,
So how to come over that particular views and the beliefs by the ownership management with the family members who are upcoming into the business?
yeah, yeah. I will
Audible?
quickly share my thoughts. Yes, yes. I will share my views on this. Separating ownership from management is something which we all advisors and academicians we like to talk about it, and we also help our clients at equations. We do that in a large way with several of our clients. But what does that mean? So, as I explained, family business or say family management and ownership, these are the three circles which are continuously, these are the three roles which all family members continuously keep on wearing. And the hats that they keep on wearing. And each hat has got a different color. That means each hat, I would say, has got a different, has got certain expectations and certain rules, regulations to observe. For example, separating management and ownership, when we talk about, um, uh, largely in families it happens, and which used to happen. Now the families have become quite conscious, but it used to happen that it was very natural for younger generations to, or say senior generations, to expect that the youngsters, when they grow up, they are going to join the business. uh, it was mandatory. It was without even asking, thinking. But the sons were expected to work in the business and give their full time and be the part of the business. That was understood for many all these years. Even now, also many families observe this practice. Now things have happened, or say the times have become so challenging and so complex, and especially we have become globalized economy, and because of that we are competing with very large pocket, deep pocketed large multinationals, and very very smart and quality conscious companies, where performance, processes, and profitability, they are very closely connected. So so families, when they are owners or they are promoters, they have to start looking at their businesses from by wearing the business hat, with just like the professionals they would hire from various prominent premier institutes, and expect them to work in a professional manner. So if I am I'm a younger generation member, I'm not educated or qualified enough, but I look at my father's business as a place for me to just be there, because it's already the platform is ready for me to launch myself, and I don't have to really go out and look for a job and make my career, but it is easy way to manage the business. And that is the thought process, which is now not, it's proving detrimental for family businesses. Instead of that, the families are thinking, and all, and it is true, and it is good also for prudent families, that they are thinking that if the businesses require certain skills, certain capabilities to run and to become big or become profitable, then if people those with those caliber and those capabilities will work with us and take the business ahead, that will be much better than we ourselves. If we do not have those calibers, our younger generation does not have that caliber, then we might as well bring in outsiders to manage the show. And that is where separation of management and ownership happens. But this is not just the separation, act of separation. Sometimes I hear that people say that we should divorce management from ownership, but I think divorce is a very drastic way of cutting off, chopping off. The families need not have to divorce their management, but families need to learn to be away from day-to-day operations. And while doing that, they also need to let outside experts, I'm saying that they have to be experts, so experts manage their businesses. When the families reach that level of thinking and that level of matured thinking, uh, then the whole organization goes through change and separation from ownership and management. That happens. We help several families in the process of such a process of transformation, where family members also have to learn not to be the managers. They have to, or not just the leaders, they have to learn to be patient, mature, wise advisors to the professionals who are working with them as their senior key management persons or key employees. So separation of management and ownership are a must when the families want to sustain the business for a long time. That is important. How? It's a long process, and it starts with families having governance in their own um, in their own setup. The families observing some governance rules, regulations, policies, or I would say disciplinary norms, is very important when they are thinking about professionalizing their businesses. So, to answer or say, I've answered your question of how the separation of management and ownership is happening and what should families need to do. Families need to work and go through the entire process of transformation at the family level, at the business level, and the ownership level as well, to become a truly professionally organized businesses. Yes. Yes, Hardik. The next question.
Yeah, you have very well explained that particular query asked by the viewer. Now the next question is like, I hope you are enjoying the session. My next question goes like this. You are a co-author for 5G of the family business. You have already mentioned about the book which you have published.
Yeah.
So, can you share your view about that particular book?
Yeah.
What is the 5G actually all about?
Yes, yeah. In fact, when we came out with this 5G title, then somebody asked me, why? What is this? You have brought 5G in India much before Mukesh Bhai Ambani has brought in 5G. So we still don't have 5G network, but you have brought in 5G. So what is this 5G about? And okay, let me tell you that 5G is a family business is a book which so Walter Vieira, my co-author, and me, we have with our collective experience of almost 70 years, is a very senior author and advisor, and my experience we put together. We have written this book. This is specifically for business owners, successors, and youngsters, and those who want to get familiar with the success mantras of family businesses. What we've done, we studied many families, and we also studied their businesses and how the journeys of these families have happened over years, and the business is as old as 1400-year-old business, Japanese business. And from there to businesses which have just in first generation itself have flopped, like Satyam Computers or Jay Malaya, and those businesses have not gone bad, but the promoters, the intentions probably. So we studied several businesses, and we identified that those who have succeeded and sustained for many generations, 3, 4, 7 generations. What is so different in them vis-a-vis the businesses which have not survived? And there we found that these are five elements or five foundations, I would say five foundation pillars, which the successful families have always practiced, knowingly, unknowingly, but they have practiced these five elements or mantras. The first is Genesis. Genesis is your origin. How have you, the promoter or the entrepreneur who starts the business, what are his values, what is the culture that he has created in the organization, and from there how the culture is built and then moves, and what are really the beliefs and values of the entrepreneur who built the business or created the business in a successful manner. So that is your genesis. The companies or the families must not disregard the beginning of their businesses. That's a historical part, but it's very important as it becomes a pivot for your culture. Second part is growth. Without growth, there is no business which is going to last forever. And when there is no business, families also will not find it interesting to stay together and manage the business. So the families are together to manage the business, or many times it's the business which keeps the families together. So growth is paramount. Third part is generation next. Next generation, when is very young, and the families have got the values of making it a family legacy business, then it's very important that next generation also gets acquainted with the business and it takes pride in the family business. With that pride, they would want to join, or they may decide to join the business. But many times now, given so many career options, younger generation chooses to not to work in the family business. But when I interact with my students or when I discuss things, many times I hear that I want to get into another career only because my family, there are too many conflicts in the family. There are too many differences in the family. We don't have the clarity on what we have to do. So I don't want to waste my time and I want to move out of the family business. Now, this is a sheer waste of strong potential that the family has, a leadership potential that the family has, which just goes away because the family has not kept or made their acts together, or had developed a very cohesive way of working. And that is where Generation Next is not interested in joining the business. So it is Gen Next, how some successors have taken the businesses to huge heights. Look at the Birla Group, Aditya Birla, Kumar Mangalam Birla. So they have, and the earlier Birlas, Ghanchandas Birla. So the Birla legacy has continued, Godrej legacy has continued, and Generation Next has always built and rebuilt the businesses in a stronger way. So we have given a lot of examples and interesting anecdotes and stories about such businesses. The fourth is very important aspect, and that is governance. That is family governance and business governance. Very briefly, when younger generation comes in the picture, it's very important for the families to look at and design their governance mechanism. Governance mechanism is the way we do business here, the way we manage, or say we run our family here. So the way we do things here is something which talks about your governance or your policies and your ways of working. And the fifth D, which is very important, it's going to be very crucial also in years to come, especially in the new normal era. It's going to be very important, and that is giving back. So far we have heard and we have seen that the families always do charity. A lot of charity happens, and a lot of help that happens by the families, and successful families, rich families, HNI, UHNI families, that happen. But now in giving back, there is one element of seeing that my giving back efforts, or what we are giving back to the society as the family, entrepreneurial family or entrepreneurs, is it getting the required desired impact or not? And we hear that a lot of money is given to charity trusts, but the impact of charity is not visible. Why? Because we are doing charity, we are doing philanthropy without checking out whether it's creating impact or not. And especially for the families, there are families who believe in certain causes or helping certain causes. Some families, they decide we want to help only cancer patients or medical help we want to give. Some families believe in education. But whatever you believe, and you want to give back your resources, your money, your efforts, your time, whether that is being evaluated enough or not. And today we know that 1% of India's population has got 58% of collective countries' wealth with them. This is the Oxfam report, which is published every year. So, wealth of the countries, wealth of the nations, wealth of on the globe is in the hands of very few percentage of people. And these people have, large number of them have started now donating, giving back, doing a lot of philanthropy work for the community, society, nations, and I mean we know Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They are doing a lot of work in various countries. So giving back is a sense, it's your value that the families, all the families carry. But how do you do it in an organized manner, impactful manner? What do companies do? What do families do? What we have described. So the five G's are the five elements or the five pillars on which successful families have built their businesses and their legacy enterprise. So that's about the five G's. The book is available on Amazon if you wish to read. I've lost your voice. I can't hear you, Hardik.
So it was really nice session. Basically, I would like to ask one which comes across my mind when I'm just going through this particular session.
Hardik, I'm not able to hear you.
How to is it audible now?
Now it is audible.
What is a
Yes,
must-do
but
message as this new normal times?
what is the must do in the new normal time?
Are you?
Okay,
Am
I
I
think
audible?
yeah, what I understood, you're asking me what is a
What is
must
a
do
must-do message?
for family businesses. Okay, I would say the families and
What
the
is a
businesses.
must-do message?
Huh. I heard your question. Yes. Okay, I'll respond to your question.
Yeah.
There is a must do for the family, and then there is a must do for the business, both.
Must-do
So
must-do message for the
must do
yeah,
message,
yeah.
yes, a must do message for the families. Please please look at your family dynamics, look at your family dimension, the human dimension, and work on the governance aspect of the family, the family's policies, families ways of working, families cohesion, and families harmony is much important than um, than anything else when you want to sustain in the business for a long time as a family business. That means as a family, align your views, align your ambitions, your aspirations, and your beliefs and values. How? That I think we'll have to take it offline. You can get in touch with me and we can work on that. But aligning your values and your vision and aspirations of family members is an important, very important, crucial thing which the families must do in the new normal. Must do for the business, it's very important, imperative. All of us, we have learned that digitization and the technology, gearing up for technology is extremely important. So gearing up for technology is a must that the families will have to do, whether it is your processes, your business processes, your human resource processes, your entire strategic thinking, your operations. You'll have to bring in that digital aspect in the business, and aligning families vision with business vision is going to be a real success key for family businesses. So I guess this is my must do message for all of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
you
thank you,
also
Hardik.
enjoyed our viewers to share your knowledge.
Yeah,
Thank you. So it's like we are almost to the end. Before closing, our viewers have got very good information of 3 R's and 5 G's explained by Dr. Mita. So really, it was really amazing session. 3 R's and 5 G's on
yeah,
family business, the new normal in the testing times. We would request
yes,
them to connect with us for a very interesting topic coming up next week, same time, same day. So next
yes,
week we have the amazing personality of life insurance sector with Premal Parikh to share his knowledge about fundamentals and principles of financial planning as well as need and value of life insurance. Lastly, we urge our viewers to like, share, and subscribe our KCBF channel. See you next week. Till then, stay clear, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mita.
Thank you.
It was really a nice
Thank you.
session
Thank you,
with you.
Hardik, and all of you. Yeah, my
We would be
pleasure.
getting in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.